Snark Squad. Babes.
Oh, we were so bad.
It's Wednesday evening, White Claws. On deck.
Oh, absolutely on deck.
It's warm, we're feeling spicy, and babes, we are here.
We are so here.
By the time you're hearing this, it's Thursday. So
Yeah.
happy Thursday, babes.
Happy Thursday to the squad.
Because this is for, like, the guys, the gals, the gays, the days, literally everyone.
Yeah, everybody.
So send this to a friend right now, because we need to talk. White Claws.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
I mean, they're good.
Ooh.
But also, are they?
Well, statistically.
Like, babes, is there a seltzer out there that actually has flavor? Because I am spiraling over this.
It is a completely brilliant psychological illusion. Let's just look at the food science of it for a second.
Please, because I feel gaslit by my own beverage.
You are. They are actually selling you flavor. They are selling you the, like, olfactory idea of flavor.
Wait, olfactory? Like the smell?
Exactly. It's all aroma compounds. When you pop that can, your nose catches this volatile chemical that mimics a fruit.
Right.
So your brain anticipates sweetness. But when it actually hits your tongue, nothing.
Literally nothing. It's TV static.
Yeah, it's just hydration with a hint of a rumor of a fruit. It's carbonated disappointment.
Carbonated disappointment. I take a sip of black cherry, and it's like someone is just yelling the word cherry from 3 rooms away.
Right, and yet we buy them by the case because we've been conditioned to believe that this, this minimalist aesthetic can is what summer is supposed to taste like.
I am feeling so attacked right now.
Well, let's be clinically honest here. If your favorite seltzer is the mango one, you have absolutely no palate.
Hey, I am holding a mango one right now.
You enjoy the taste of a generic hotel lobby candle? I'm sorry, you just do.
I drink it for the vibes.
And if you're a lime girly, you're just drinking watered-down Sprite and pretending it's a whole personality trait.
Oh my God, the shade.
Yeah.
But like, I want the juice. I want the zest. I want structural integrity in my beverages, not just an illusion,
Structural integrity is rare these days.
It really is. And honestly, speaking of illusions and things that have just been around forever that we accept as our reality survivor.
Oh, what a pivot.
50 seasons.
50! Half a century of seasons.
50. Like, when does it end? Do we think it ever will? It literally breaks my brain.
It's never going to end. We are going to be in, like, nursing homes, right?
Yeah.
Our joints are going to be failing us. We'll be eating pureed cookies. And Jeff Probst is going to be this 110-year-old cyborg in a perfectly pressed blue button-down.
Yelling at holograms to dig deep.
Exactly. Yelling at holograms. The sheer terrifying longevity of this franchise is, it's an unprecedented case study in human psychology.
It really is.
Yeah.
Watching this show, especially season 50, it low-key gives us this massive hit of nostalgia.
Yeah, hold on, nostalgia.
Like being teenagers again.
Yeah.
Do you remember just like sitting cross-legged on the carpet in front of those giant, heavy box TVs?
Ones that weighed like 80 pounds?
Yes. Watching early reality TV, like early Big Brother or whatever glorious unproduced chaos was on MTV.
The absolute golden age of television chaos. And what made it so compelling is exactly what is missing today.
Which is what?
The total absence of social media strategy. Like, when you look back at early Big Brother the Puck era, the Dr. Will era.
Legends. Literal legends.
People weren't going on television to become influencers. There was no Instagram to monetize.
All right, they weren't selling flat tummy tea.
Exactly. They weren't trying to launch a podcast. They were going on television because they were unhinged, deeply competitive individuals.
And they wanted to push boundaries.
Yeah, they wanted to see what would happen. Today, every single player is hyper aware of their edit. They know one bad confessional ruins their Twitter mentions for a decade.
It hit so differently back then. Like, you couldn't just go on Reddit and find a spoiler thread. We had flip phones.
You actually had to wait.
You had to wait an entire agonizing week. You'd go to the cafeteria and be like, can you believe what she said at Tribal? It felt monumental.
It was a true monoculture event.
And seeing these old school players back on our screens right now for season 50, it transports me. But you know what doesn't rely on illusions?
I think I know where this is going.
Snack check. Tim Tams. Shout out Walmart. Holding us down.
A truly elite biscuit. And I use the term biscuit in the British sense out of respect for the engineering.
I am obsessed. The taste, the texture, the snap of the chocolate, and then that creamy interior.
It's providing emotional comfort.
If I could build a house out of Tim Tams, I would literally live in it. Are they elite or not?
Oh, they are clinically a top-tier cookie. It ties perfectly into our theme of structural integrity, actually.
Oh, explain.
Well, American cookies, like your standard chocolate chip or an Oreo, they simply do not have the structural fortitude to withstand heat stress.
True. They crumble.
But the Tim Tam is designed perfectly for the Tim Tam slam. You bite off opposite corners.
Just the slam.
You dip it into hot coffee, and you use the biscuit itself as a straw.
It is life-changing.
The hot liquid pulls through the inner wafers, right? Melting the center, while the outer chocolate shell holds the entire apparatus together.
It's a masterpiece of snack architecture.
Just long enough for you to eat it before it collapses.
Well, grab your White Claws and your Tim Tams, babes.
Yeah.
Because we need to transition into the absolute unhinged mess that was episode 7.
I am still exhausted from watching it.
We're in the merge, and the lack of structural integrity on this beach is astounding. I am breathless.
It is the hangover of the century. Let's set the stage here, because the logistics alone are terrifying.
Yes, the Blood Moon hangover.
Yeah.
For anyone who missed last week, we had that historic twist. 3 separate tribal councils.
Mathematical chaos.
3 people went home in one night. Genevieve, Camilla, and Colby. Boom, boom, boom. The sun comes up, and suddenly there are 14 people on one beach.
14. Let's break down the biology and the psychology of 14 people on one camp.
I can't even imagine the smell.
The smell, first of all, unwashed bodies, but more importantly, the caloric deficit.
Right, because they barely have rice.
They are fighting for a limited supply of rice that was originally rationed for, like, 6 people. You have 14 sleep-deprived individuals. Their cortisol levels are through the roof.
Everyone is paranoid.
Exactly. When humans are placed in a high-stress, high-population density environment with scarce resources, paranoid tribalism is the immediate biological response.
It's a recipe for a total breakdown. And the edit made it very clear who the main characters of this breakdown were. Let's look at the confessional counts.
The data is deeply telling here.
Coach got 9 confessionals. Dee got 7. Rizzo got 7. Stephenie got 6. And then there's Joe.
Oh, Joe.
Sitting firmly at 0.
He was a ghost, literally haunting the background of the beach.
0 confessionals. But what he lacks in screen time, he makes up for with deeply unnecessary firehouse metaphors.
He is the Greek chorus of blue-collar analogies.
He literally looks into the camera from the background, wiping sweat, muttering about putting out the blaze. I can't.
But the oxygen in this episode was entirely consumed by Coach. We have to talk about the haikus.
Oh my God, the haikus?
Yeah.
I had to pause my television. I was spiraling.
It is a fascinating case study in narcissistic survival mechanisms.
He is lounging in this hammock, looking exactly like a bruised banana that is too good to touch the counter, but too gross to eat.
That is a brutally accurate description.
And he is just writing haikus to himself, out loud, clapping for his own genius.
And Emily is just staring at him.
Deadpan. And he's like, the wind blows the truth.
Let's be very clear for the literary nerds out there, okay? The haikus, they weren't even perfectly 575.
Wait, really? He messed up the syllables.
Yes. He's out there aggressively counting syllables on his fingers, claiming to be this enlightened Zen master, and he's failing basic first-grade poetry mechanics.
That is so embarrassing.
He's throwing in 8 syllables on the second line and just shrugging it off. It is the absolute perfect metaphor for Coach's entire game.
Oh, totally. It's all fake.
He projects this image of flawless, structured perfection, this, like, honor and integrity samurai code. But when you actually count the syllables of his gameplay, it's completely broken.
It's pure performance art. He is manifesting his own reality.
Yeah.
And it leads directly into the biggest camp blow-up we've seen.
The fight between Coach, Dee, and Jonathan.
I was reacting so viscerally to this because Dee is fighting for her life, and she is getting played so hard.
Let's unpack the mechanics of this fight, because Jonathan just delivered a masterclass in psychological instigation.
He really did. It was evil but genius.
If you want to trigger someone emotionally without leaving your own fingerprints on the crime scene, this is exactly how you do it.
He pulls Dee aside, right?
He pulls her aside, and he intentionally gaslights her about the previous vote. He tells her she's the one lying, he gasses her up, completely minimizing his own betrayals.
He knows she's volatile.
Exactly. He literally takes credit for the explosion in his confessional. He says, I just need to light the match and walk away.
And she took the bait. She snapped because Jonathan and Coach are acting like they are these pure, innocent victims.
And Coach gets furious because Dee betrayed them on the Charlie vote.
So Coach starts shouting to the entire beach, loudly, pacing in the sand. This isn't how I play Survivor. I don't lie. There will be hell to pay.
And this is where I need to analytically shred Coach's entire honor complex, because it is infuriating to watch people buy into it.
Please shred it. Leave no crumbs.
For the newer fans who might not know the deep lore, let's do a quick history lesson.
Oh, the lore is so good.
On Coach's original season, he literally sat at tribal council and spun this wild, utterly delusional story about kayaking in the Amazon.
The ass-eating story.
Yes. He claimed he was captured by indigenous Amazonian tribesmen who tied him up, beat him, and were supposedly preparing to eat his ass.
And he told this to Jeff Probst with a straight face.
He has historically been one of the most fabulous, hypocritical players to ever step on the sand. He backstabs, he preaches loyalty, and then slices your throat while citing Marcus Aurelius.
It's infuriating.
How can this guy stand on a beach in season 50 and scream about honor?
Okay, wait, push back here. Because you are totally right, but isn't Emily totally right too in the moment?
What'd she say?
She literally says the quiet part out loud. She's watching this tantrum, and she calls him a flat-faced liar.
Oh, yes?
She's like, Coach is just a flat-faced liar most of the time. Why does anyone put up with this fake righteousness? Like, if everyone knows it's an illusion, why is he dictating the tone?
Because loudness masquerades as leadership when everyone else is paralyzed by fear.
Oh, that's deep.
When you have 14 people on a beach, the sheer mathematical variables of who is voting for whom are overwhelming. Nobody wants to speak first.
Because the person who speaks first gets targeted.
Exactly. So Coach's fake righteousness acts as a community meat shield. You let the loud, delusional guy call the shots for a few days to keep the target off your back.
That makes so much sense. Which brings us perfectly to the journey. Stephenie's excruciating hour.
Borderline sadistic challenge design.
Babes, I was screaming at my TV. Someone has to go on a journey by chance draw. They pull rocks out of a bag, and it's Stephenie.
The producers knew exactly what they were doing.
They targeted her physical vulnerability. They make Stephenie, who has a lingering, documented survivor shoulder injury, stand there and hold her arm up over a bucket of water.
For an hour.
For an entire hour, in absolute dead silence, no Jeff Probst yelling, just the sound of jungle bugs. I would have quit after 3 minutes.
Let's talk about the kinesiology of that for a second.
Can't even hold my phone over my face in bed for 10 minutes.
When you hold your arm outstretched at a 90-degree angle, you are forcing your deltoids and rotator cuff to maintain an isometric contraction.
Ouch.
Blood flow restricts, lactic acid builds up exponentially, and the muscle fibers begin to micro-tear.
So she is in actual agony.
The burning sensation is your body biologically begging you to drop your arm to prevent permanent damage. Add to that the psychological torture of silence.
Because your perception of time warps.
Every minute feels like 10. But remarkably, she survives it. She wins the steal a vote advantage.
But then she has to go back to camp.
Right. She has to return to 13 paranoid sharks and explain where she's been. She tries to lie. She says her shoulder gave out early and she got nothing.
It's the standard survivor lie. But this leads to the absolute read of the century. I live for this interaction at the well with Cirie.
Cirie is terrifying in the best way.
Stephenie is trying to sell this lie. And Cirie just smiles. She just nods and gives this sweet, warm look. She doesn't interrogate her.
No raised voice.
She just laughs softly, and Stephenie immediately cracks. Cirie goes, listen, bitch, I got an advantage. Shut up.
And Cirie's response.
Cirie goes, I know you did. Bitch, you know I can tell when you're lying. I died.
That scene is a PhD thesis in behavioral analysis. We have to break down why Cirie is playing a god-tier social game.
Please, explain the Heisenberg of it all.
If someone like Coach suspects you're lying, he confronts you. It triggers your fight-or-flight response. You double down on the lie to protect yourself.
All right, you get defensive.
Cirie employs a tactic similar to FBI hostage negotiators. She creates a vacuum of comfort. She uses silence, a warm maternal smile, and open body language to make you feel safe.
Because humans hate awkward silence.
Especially when they're lying. They want to fill that silence by confessing to alleviate their own guilt. She just holds space and lets you unravel. It's lethal.
Lethal. Surgical precision. And she instantly takes that info, promises not to tell, and then immediately walks away and tells Rizzo.
Because the information economy on this season is completely broken.
Secrets are leaking like a broken faucet. Which brings us to the formation of the thruple.
The velocity at which a secret travels is staggering. Look at Dee's fatal flaw.
I am pulling my hair out about Dee. She tells Emily about Rizzo's hidden immunity idol. Why are you giving up leverage?
And Emily's the worst person to tell. She is the producer's wet dream for creating smokescreens.
So here's the secret and weaponizes it. She instantly blabs to Rizzo. So now Rizzo knows Dee betrayed him.
It forces Rizzo's hand to officially pick a side. And look at the contrast between the two main alliances forming.
It's night and day.
On one side, Coach pulls Rizzo aside, all theatrical, and invites him to join the Four Horsemen. He tells Rizzo he's the new Colby.
Drenched in ego. It's so embarrassing.
It's about casting Rizzo in Coach's personal movie. And on the other side, you have the dominant trio, Cirie, Rizzo, and Ozzy.
The streets are calling them Cirie's Wizard of Oz. But we are officially christening them the Thruple.
I accept that branding, but I have to ask you a question about the structural integrity of this alliance.
Go ahead.
Cirie and Ozzy are Mount Rushmore-level legends. So why is Rizzo, a 25-year-old kid from New York, suddenly the Godfather's right-hand man? Why are they listening to him?
Because he has that undeniable Rizgod charm. He's disarming. He isn't fangirling over them.
He treats them like equals.
But he also acts as their shield. The game has changed so much since Cirie and Ozzy first played. So many advantages in fake idols.
He filters the new school chaos for them.
Exactly. But Ozzy doesn't just need a shield. Because Ozzy, I.S. the shield, we have to talk about this immunity challenge.
The physical dominance of Ozzy is defying medical science. He is in his 40s, moving like a collegiate athlete.
They divide into 2 teams of 7. They push a giant boulder, solve a puzzle. Christian's team wins Chinese takeout. Give me an egg roll right now.
Yeah.
But the individual showdown comes down to Joe versus Ozzy, and Ozzy wins, his 8th career win and first in 15 years.
It is remarkable. Swimming isn't just about raw muscle, it's about hydrodynamics, lung capacity, and minimizing drag.
He is casually giving everyone head starts. He sits on the platform, waits for them to swim halfway, dives in, and beats them.
It's an incredible physical flex. But strategically, it's exactly what the Thruple needed. Ozzy is legally untouchable.
Which forces the massive target elsewhere. And with 14 people going to tribal council, it is a mathematical nightmare.
The largest tribal council ever, a town hall meeting.
You need a microphone. And Coach is running around trying to micromanage a 7-4 split vote against Dee and Stephenie.
Which requires an explanation, because pulling off a split vote with 14 people is like balancing a house of cards in a hurricane.
Break down the math for us.
A split vote is a defensive strategy to flush a hidden immunity idol. You have a majority of 7, and you want Dee out. But if she has an idol, it negates your votes.
Right.
So you split your 7 votes, 4 on Dee, 3 on her ally, Stephenie. If Dee plays an idol, Stephenie goes home with the 3 secondary votes, instead of one of your own cashing a stray bullet.
But doing this with 14 starving people.
Statistically impossible to keep it a secret. He gets absolutely furious when Rick Devens leaks the plan to Christian.
Coach starts pacing, ranting about the sword of Damocles hanging over camp. Which is hilarious because that phrase only comes up when Dee or Emily are around.
It's their localized weather pattern.
And amidst this chaos, we get the Billie Eilish boomerang idol drama.
It altered the entire economy of the game.
Aubry has this idol, and she is basically bullied like Mean Girl, peer pressured into playing it. She calls it a scarlet letter.
Let's be snarky about the mechanics of this boomerang idol. The game design is flawed. It creates a toxic financial asset.
Like a subprime mortgage.
Exactly. Holding the idol gives you technical value, but because it's public knowledge, the entire market knows you have it. Nobody wants to trade with you.
They are terrified you will use it against them.
Holding the idol bankrupts your social capital. Aubry felt she had to flush it just to be allowed back into regular strategic conversations tomorrow.
It totally ruined the fun of finding an idol. She plays it, and Dee tries to start a live tribal.
She abandons the pre-planned vote, gets up, starts whispering.
She talks about drawing lines in the sand, and Emily just looks at her and goes, "They aren't lines, Dee. They are walls in the sand."
A phenomenal soundbite. Shuts down the momentum instantly.
Dee realizes the live tribal fail. She plays her shot in the dark, draws not safe. The vote is 9-4-1. Dee's torch is snuffed. She becomes the mayor of Ponderosa.
But the most important piece of data, the one stray vote.
Stephenie. She writes Coach's name down and vows to do it every single night.
Spectacular television.
Okay, let's get into segment 1. Big move or big mistake. We are putting these players on trial. Who played it right?
My pick is Jonathan. He executed flawless emotional manipulation. He wanted revenge on Dee, but didn't want to be the loudest voice.
So he uses Coach.
He gassed Dee up, stepped back, and let Coach take all the heat for the retaliation. Jonathan got what he wanted with zero blood on his hands.
Okay, analytical king, I see that, but my pick, it is Rizzo. He is playing both sides perfectly. He accepts Coach's invite to his face, strokes his ego.
And then runs to Cirie's?
Immediately. He actively plays the legends against each other, and he talks Coach down from a paranoid ledge like a disappointed parent.
Managing egos is the hardest skill in this game. But let's flip the coin. Who fumbled the bag? Who made the biggest mistake?
I have to say Dee, and it breaks my heart. She is one of only 3 actual winners cast. To see her go down pre-jury, it hurts.
Trusting Emily was fatal.
You cannot give live ammunition to the camp gossip. You cannot trade your most valuable secret for nothing.
I would argue the biggest fumble was unequivocally Coach. His mistake wasn't targeting Dee, it was his abysmal social management.
It was so loud.
He steamrolled a split vote to take out someone nobody wanted to sit next to anyway. He torpedoed his social capital. He has no structural integrity left.
I agree he was annoying, but I'm pushing back. Aubry made the biggest mistake. Did she really have to play that idol because of peer pressure?
I mean, mathematically.
Why not just wear it offensively? Dare them to vote you out. Make my day. Why throw away a safety net because of a dirty look?
Because social capital is worth more than a physical advantage. If she wears it as a threat, she becomes a pariah. By flushing it, she buys goodwill.
The politics are so exhausting. Which leads into segment 2. Social game check. Who is building alliances and who is isolating themselves?
The most sound alliance is the thruple. Cirie, Rizzo, and Ozzy are a perfect biological organism, like Breaking Bad. Cirie is Walter White, orchestrating the empire.
And Rizzo is Jesse Pinkman, running the product on the streets. I am dead at that analogy. And then you have the middlemen, Christian and Rick Devens.
Catching information like dads at a barbecue.
But who is isolating themselves? So I was yelling at my screen. He's building a brick wall with his I rants.
Ego isolation.
Rizzo literally said, players who talk about I instead of we never survive.
But Tiffany is also suddenly isolated, though in the modern game, being a solo operator can actually be a massive advantage.
Because the big factions ignore you.
They focus artillery on the big targets. Tiffany could easily become the crucial swing vote.
I cannot wait to watch her write Coach's name down again. Okay, segment 3, under the radar. Who is quietly playing the best game?
We both know the answer to this.
We have to bow down. Cirie Fields.
The most staggering statistic of this game, nobody is saying Cirie's name.
Yeah.
In a cast of 50 legends on a beach of 14 paranoid players, she is invisible as a threat.
She's playing from the couch of the island. She smiles, and people hand her their games. But who is your pick?
Chrissy. She is quietly acting as the structural glue for Jonathan and Coach.
Oh, that's a good one.
Everyone is distracted by Coach's tantrums and Jonathan's mass. But Chrissy is calculating the numbers. If you take her out, the entire structure collapses.
Without her, Coach is just talking to a coconut. Okay, final segment. Segment 4, final tribal watch. Who is making it to the end?
Who are you staking your claim on?
I am putting all my chips on Rizzo. But I am stressing because to get there, he might have to betray Cirie.
The apprentice striking down the master.
If he blindsides Cirie, he will go from breakout legend to the most hated man on television.
I think he'd do it. My prediction, however, is a goat watch. Coach is building the perfect resume to be a 0-vote finalist.
They will drag him to the end just to watch him lose.
Exactly. But before we wrap, we have to talk about the weirdest lingering vibe, the threat of Mr. Beast.
It is so bizarre. We know he was on location in Fiji. Are they going to drop him out of a helicopter with Feastables?
I fully expect a challenge where they push a Lamborghini out of a trunch and he's holding a briefcase of cash. It's the only way to escalate the absurdity.
Imagine Coach explaining samurai honor to Mr. Beast. The simulation would break. All right, babes, that is a wrap on episode 7. Spicy vibes, seltzer debates, nostalgia hits, survivor chaos.
We've covered strategic triumphs, breakdowns, and the failure of modern poetry. Chew on this. If silence is the ultimate weapon, like Cirie uses it, what does that say about how we communicate in the real world?
Oh, deep. So we have to ask, favorite seltzer? When does Survivor end? And Biggs, what was your OG reality show?
Slide into our DMs. You are our third bestie.
Remind, rate, review, subscribe.
Send submissions and send this to your most competitive bestie.
Thank the Snark Squad. We love you. Stay shady, stay iconic, and we'll see you on the Snark side.